to the explainer. We hear all the time that data and facts are what we need to solve climate change. But what if the real answer isn't in our heads, but in our hearts? That's the huge idea behind a new initiative called EarthSTARS, which is taking a totally different approach by turning climate stories into songs.
In this quote right here, it gets to the absolute core of the problem they're trying to solve. We're all drowning in information about the climate, but does knowing more numbers and statistics actually make us feel more? EarthSTARS is betting that it doesn't. They're arguing that understanding a problem isn't enough. You have to feel it to actually do something about it.
And look, there are these incredible, powerful stories from young climate leaders all over the world. Stories about resilience, about innovation, about real-world impact. But what happens to them? They often get flattened, reduced to just another headline or a data point, and that emotional core that makes them so powerful, it just gets lost.
And that right there is the real roadblock. That distance between knowing the facts in your head and feeling that fire in your gut to act, that's what EarthSTARS calls the empathy gap. And it's one of the biggest hurdles we face in building a real, sustainable global movement.
So the big question is, how do you close that gap? How do you bridge that divide? Well, the answer EarthSTARS is proposing is as old as we are. It's music. The idea is that by turning these real stories into songs, you can create the deep emotional connection that data and reports just can't. Now, this isn't about just making a few catchy tunes. EarthSTARS is trying to build an entire cultural platform. They've created these immersive songwriting collaborations called SongLABs to basically build a system that can translate these complex, real-world climate experiences into music that can move anyone, anywhere. This comparison just lays it out so perfectly. It's a deliberate strategy to shift the conversation. Stop trying to just inform the mind with more and more data and start trying to move the heart with melody and emotion. The whole thing is built on this belief that we act on what we feel, not just on what we know.
It's that exact blend of deep storytelling and pop music know-how that makes this whole thing so interesting.
Okay, so that's the big idea. But how does it actually work? What does this look like in practice? Well, the creative engine behind all of EarthSTARS is something they call the SongLAB. So I want you to forget any image you have of a sterile, dark recording studio. That is not what this is. SongLABs are designed to be these super immersive experiences, often held in really inspiring, nature-focused locations. The whole goal is to get everyone to connect deeply, not just with each other, but with the real stories they're there to tell.
And the entire day is structured in this really intentional way. It's not just, okay, go write a song. It starts with things like yoga or just connecting with the nature around them to get centered. Then they dive into these intense, collaborative writing sessions, and the whole day wraps up with everyone coming together to listen, share, and reflect. It's a whole process.
And the person holding all of this together is the curator. This is a really crucial role. They're an experienced music industry pro who does way more than just book the talent. They're responsible for shaping the entire creative environment, for guiding the collaboration, and for making sure the whole experience is both incredibly productive and really, really meaningful for everyone involved.
Okay, so you have this really cool, intensive creative model. But how in the world do you scale an idea like this and turn it into a global movement? Well, their strategy isn't to just be everywhere all at once. It's much more about building a really strong, intentional foundation first.
Their plan is to start small and super focused. They're launching with just 5 to 10 of these foundational SongLABs around the world, and that lets them really perfect the model, build some serious momentum, and get it right before they even think about expanding.
And these first locations are chosen so strategically. They're looking for places where you have this perfect intersection of a strong, vibrant music community and a really powerful, urgent environmental story. So think about connecting artists in Latin America with stories from the rainforests, or musicians in Africa with stories about wildlife conservation. It's a really smart pairing. Now, this part is absolutely crucial. For EarthSTARS, the song is not the end product. It's not even close. The song is the spark. It's just the very beginning of a much larger journey that's designed to drive real-world impact. You can really see how it all connects here in their ecosystem of change. It's like a domino effect. It all starts with a real, authentic story from a young climate leader. That story gets transformed into music in a SongLAB. The whole creative process is then filmed for a documentary series. Then, the songs get shared through concerts and cultural events and are celebrated at award shows, creating this huge wave of content that eventually reaches and, they hope, inspires a global audience. And this is their ultimate goal, their big vision. What they're building is a self-sustaining cultural ecosystem.
It's a feedback loop where authentic stories get amplified through the power of music, creating this massive collective voice for the planet. And you can totally see the appeal for the artists and producers who get involved. This isn't just another writing session or another track to produce. It's a chance for them to use their incredible talent to be part of something much, much bigger than the music industry itself, a cultural movement that actually has real significance.
And all of this leaves us with a really provocative final thought. In a world that is just saturated with data, with reports, with deadlines, maybe the missing ingredient isn't another fact. Maybe what we really truly need is a melody, a song that can change the way we feel.
The world is made up of 8 billion stories.
And we want to hear yours.
Check the link in the bio to see how you can be part of SongLAB.